Okay, hello everyone. I just wanted to take a moment and again thank you all for being part of our um, Chemistry 108 course this year. I'm glad you chose the chemistry major, and I really enjoyed having class with you each and every week. I know some of those weeks were virtual, and some of those weeks were not in person and not as fun for sure. But we had a fair number of classes where we were meeting face to face, and I'm very grateful for that. So I just want to again thank you all for the opportunity to teach you. I want to remind you that we are here, myself included, to help you along your way here at Southern Miss. So if you ever have any questions or concerns or comments, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Be happy to help you in any way that I can. And also, I want to just take this moment to remind you that finals are coming up. I know you all are aware of that, but keep that in mind as you think about going into the Thanksgiving holiday. You will be returning and need to be prepared for those finals. And also, don't forget, if you haven't already, it's very important that you go ahead and get registered for your courses. Classes are filling up, and so we want to make sure that you have a seat in the class for the spring. You know, with COVID, the spring is going to be challenging again, and just keep your chin up and try to remain positive. I think by next fall we should be a little more back to normal. We're hoping. So I know your freshman year or your first year here at Southern may have been challenging due to COVID, and we certainly understand that and know that we have a variety of resources here at the university to help you in any way that we can help you. So without belaboring this too long, always feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. I didn't get an opportunity to talk to you about my research program, but I'd be happy to talk with any of the students that if you're interested in organic chemistry that really borderlines on the not biochemistry, but biological chemistry. So we do a lot of chemistry that is important and relevant to biology. So we really kind of consider ourselves a bioorganic laboratory or a chemical biology type of laboratory. So if that's something that might interest you as you're thinking about research in the future, don't hesitate to reach out to me again. I'd be happy to sit down with you when we can sit down with one another and talk with you. So I want you all to have a happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, whatever holidays that you happen to celebrate. I wish you the best of the holiday season and a happy new year, and I hope you have a great return to Southern Miss in the spring semester. And without further ado, I'm going to transition this video over into a recorded video that I did with Ms. Kim Brown in the graduate school. She is the director of the McNair Scholars program. And so for those of you who are interested in maybe becoming a McNair Scholar, please continue watching this video. I'll talk to you all later. Okay, I want to welcome our Chemistry 108 students to this conversation with Kim Brown, who is our director for the McNair Scholars Program. Kim has been doing this for a few years now, and we've had a successful McNair's program here at the university for many years. And so I will turn it over to Kim to show you a few slides, and then we'll follow up with a few questions. So Kim, it's all yours.
Thank you, Dr. Masterson. And as he stated, I am Kim Brown, and I have actually been with the program now for 14 years. The program has been on campus since 1999, so it has been around for quite a while. And I'll just jump right in to my presentation here. I won't read all of the slides, but just kind of give a general overview of the program and sort of what it's all about. It is a federally funded TRIO program funded by the U.S. Department of Education, and it is housed here at Southern Miss within the graduate school, which we thought was a sort of a good pipeline for our students who are headed to graduate school. The program was named in honor of Dr. Ronald McNair, who was an astronaut who perished in the Challenger explosion back in 1986, who did obtain his PhD in laser physics from MIT. He was an African-American student from a low-income background, And this program was developed to target students who came from backgrounds similar to his, designed to prepare undergraduate students for doctoral studies through involvement in research and other scholarly activities. The overall goal of the McNair Scholars program is to increase graduate degree awards for students from underrepresented segments of society. All right, so we'll talk about some of the benefits of the program. First of all, our students do receive a stipend of $2,800, and that is awarded upon completion of certain programmatic requirements. There is a summer stipend of $1,400 that goes to help offset the cost of, used to be called a living allowance when students were on campus during the time. Obviously, all that was pre-COVID. Now it's just another stipend that goes toward sort of the cost of living these days. The students also have research and presentation opportunities, which are things that definitely look good on graduate school applications. They receive assistance in selecting a faculty mentor. They receive GRE test preparation and exam fee waiver. We cover the cost of the GRE and all test preparation. Students will receive assistance with graduate school application packets. We help students with their personal statements, cover letters, CVs, resumes, applications for fellowships, scholarships, all things pertaining to grad school applications. Obviously, again, pre-COVID, we did expose our students to different, graduate schools. We took trips to visit grad schools, grad school fairs, expose them to different cultural events, cultural activities, things that some of the students may not have had the opportunity to do otherwise. And obviously, introduce them to research. Some of the requirements associated with the program, obviously the students will participate in research. They will select a faculty mentor, and with the assistance of that mentor, they will select a topic. They will submit a proposal, a lit review, and then a final paper. There are 3 2-hour courses that are required for all students. One is basically introduction to research or research and design. One of the other ones is a grad school / GRE preparation, and the other one is basically a research hours course. Complete the research project under the direction of the mentor, submit the paper, and then participate in the statewide symposium with McNair Scholars from around the state. There are 3 other schools in the state that currently have McNair Scholars programs: Delta State, Jackson State, and the University of Mississippi. And we are currently rotating that statewide symposium among those campuses. The students must maintain a 3.0 GPA or higher, are required to take the GRE and develop a portfolio that they will use when applying to graduate school. All right, eligibility. The student must qualify as low income and first generation, or be a member of a group that is traditionally recognized as underrepresented in graduate education, and those groups are listed there. Again, as I stated earlier, this is a federally funded program, and we are under the guidelines of the U.S. Department of Education, and so we have to adhere, to certain stipulations and protocols, and so this is first and foremost. The student has to have at least 60 credit hours going into the summer research program, which is typically junior standing. So we are generally recruiting juniors or rising juniors for our program. Again, the 3.0 GPA. We cannot accept students who maybe have already obtained a bachelor's degree and working on a second bachelor's. The students have to be working on their first bachelor's degree. Ideally, we're looking for students who are pursuing a major in a STEM field, social sciences, math, or humanities, because obviously we're looking for students who are planning to pursue a PhD after graduation. And students must be U.S. citizen or permanent U.S. resident. How to apply? Students must go through the USM Go system, which most students are familiar with. Search for McNair, and generally they will find the application there, sign in with their SOAR credentials. What does a student need to apply? We ask for 2 letters of recommendation from faculty who can speak to the student's academic ability and their ability to pursue research. Copy of a student's resume, copy of the student's parents' tax returns, a writing sample, as well as a statement of purpose. I included here just a testimonial from one of our former McNair Scholars several years ago, but he is a student who was actually in chemistry. His name is Mario Davis. He did obtain his PhD from Texas Tech, I believe. And basically just stating that, you know, without the McNair Scholars program, he didn't think that he would have done as well in his program as he did. And the cycle for the process of applying to McNair, oh, it's going too fast. Okay, clearly I'm technically challenged. Can't figure out how to go back, but students can contact me or our program coordinator, Renee Bailey. I'm kimbia.brown@usm.edu, and she's renee.bailey@usm.edu. They can visit our website at usm.edu/McNair-Scholars-program and get more information there.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I know that if this was a normal semester where you could actually be in front of students, I'm sure they would have a lot of questions, and I can anticipate what several of them would be. So the Chemistry 108, for the most part, all freshman students who are chemistry and biochemistry majors, of course. And many of them are actually interested in, you know, attending medical school. Mm-hmm. So are medical school students, is there any provision for them to be part of the McNair Scholar if they're pre-med bound?
As I stated, you know, the parameters for the program are that we are looking for students who plan to pursue a PhD. We have had students come through the program that have gone on to become medical doctors. We have had students who have come through the interview process and have stated, you know, that they are interested in the MD, PhD programs, and, you know, have accepted those students. Unfortunately, fortunately, just based on the regulations of the guidelines from the U.S. Department of Ed, a student who is solely interested in MD program is not ideally what we're looking for. So, you know, it's hard to say, you know, definitely not, but generally that's not the student we're looking for.
But if we had a student who was interested in being a research physician and getting that MD PhD combination, they would be in a competitive pool for the program.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Okay. Well, I was glad to see you put Mario Davis up there, because actually we did an interview with Mario Davis for this class, actually, where he got to talk to the students virtually as well. So it's good to see that loop come back. And he did mention the McNair Scholars program as well. So I was glad to see you put that up there.
Yeah, and so, I did see Christina's interview as well.
Yeah, Christina. Yeah, she did a very good job as well. So we've had a number of McNair Scholars come through the chemistry program and have gone on and done some really great things. So, about how many McNair Scholars are there every year when in a cycle?
Okay, so we're funded each year for a total of 25 McNair Scholars. And that total number is sort of split into two groups. So currently we have a group that has just sort of wrapped their year, and we're in the process of just finishing selecting our new cohort. So the number of students that we had that just finished was 14, and the number of students that we are currently taking in the new cohort is 11. So they total 25. So very small cohort each year, but that's just the number that we're funded. McNair tends to have smaller numbers across the board, and that's how the cohorts are split each year, split up each year. And so typically we have anywhere from 10 to 15 or 16 with each cohort.
Okay, fantastic. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. So this group that you're talking to right now wouldn't, for the most part, be eligible until they've achieved that rising junior status, which is going to be a little over a year for them, probably, depending on where they are at with their hours. So hopefully things will be a little more to normal with the COVID situation. But in case something is different, because we do also have some sophomores in the class that could be coming up and meeting that junior status. What's being done during COVID that might be different than how you're doing this in a normal cycle?
Yeah. So the biggest thing for us this past year was that, one, our courses, were virtual as opposed to face-to-face. And we typically, in the past, the summer program was the time that we felt like was the best part of the program. It was a time where the students spent the most time together, and where we felt like that sense of camaraderie was built amongst the group, as well as for us. It was a time where we had an opportunity to get to know the students a little bit outside of the classroom, because we had the opportunity to travel with them. As I mentioned earlier, we would take the students to visit other schools, to visit other graduate programs, to take the students. We had started several years back taking the students down to the Gulf Coast Research Lab to see some of the research that was going on down there, and then they would take us out on the boat and just kind of see the things that the graduate students have going on down there, and that was always a fun trip for them. And some other things that we've been able to do in the past that we just weren't able to do this year. And so, I felt like we almost were cheating the students out of a lot of the opportunities that the students in the past have been able to take advantage of. But obviously there was not much we could do about that. So we did virtual, classes were virtual. We had some speakers that, came virtually and spoke to the students. We did what we could. And, we have a classroom, computer lab that we have available to students that, we literally had to shut down. And when we were able to, we made it available to students, and we just had to, take the necessary precautions and within the, the guidelines, and allow students to come in. And because there were students who weren't in ideal situations for studying, sometimes, and needed a space, a quiet space to come in. And so when things, when we were able to sort of open things back up, we were able to do that on a limited basis. But otherwise, just like everybody else, we just had to turn to virtual.
Sure.
And so, we are hopeful that, next summer things will be different. But in the event that they're not, we are, spinning our wheels, trying to come up with things to do, to plan for, another COVID cohort.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I just want the students to understand and be very clear about this. You all didn't cheat the students out of anything. It was COVID that did this.
Well,
so,
yeah, that's true. That's
yeah.
true. But, I think we felt so bad because we just felt that, they were cheated. I guess we didn't do it, but out of the opportunities that the other students, the past few years, we had taken students to DC and visited schools there, and did the whole touristy thing, and we had planned a trip to do a road trip this past summer to visit several graduate schools, and we weren't able to do that. So we were able to set up several virtual sessions with different graduate schools over the summer that students were able to participate in. So.
Okay. Well, I think I've got two more things really to ask of you, and the first one would be, can you explain to the students just a little bit about what the time commitment to the McNair Scholar program is? I mean, I know they're getting the $2,800 stipend plus I think it was $1,400 living allowance.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell them what we're expecting in terms of a time commitment for that kind of investment?
Yes. Yeah, we tell students in the interview up front that McNair is definitely a time commitment. It's something that obviously is, beyond and outside of their regular academic studies, but that we do expect a lot of them. The students are chosen in the fall of the year, and then every spring is when the program starts. For the most part, there is a spring course, a 2-hour course that the students are required to take. And the students will also select their mentor, select their topic, and begin working on the research process during that time. Our students will be assigned to a McNair graduate assistant that they're expected to meet with on a regular basis, while they're working through that semester on their research proposal, as well as their lit review, preparing for IRB approval needed. They work with the GA to sort of develop a reasonable timeline to adhere to, because it is such a time commitment, and we work with them and we try to help them with time management so that they don't fall behind, because it's pretty difficult to keep up once that happens. The summer research continues over the summer, whether it's data collection or whatever the process is for each individual student. The summer is usually pretty hectic because the students are continuing that process as well as preparing for the GRE. The course over the summer is the GRE preparation as well as preparing for the graduate school application. We tell students up front that, if there's a time where they may be overwhelmed, that's when it's going to be. That, it's definitely doable, but it's definitely something that they will have to commit to doing. And we tell them that we try to mimic sort of what the graduate school experience will look like to prepare them for that. And that, if they're not willing to make that commitment now, they may not be, willing to do that then, but that that is what we're trying to get them prepared for. So it is definitely a time commitment. We tell them that up front. A lot of the students that come to us are students that are heavily involved on campus, which is a great thing. But we talk to them about that and how they're going to manage their time between their classes, their academics, their extracurricular, their involvement on campus, employment, or whatever else they may have going on. So it's definitely, challenging. It is doable. So students have to be willing and committed to invest in themselves is really what it is. Willing to invest in themselves, to prepare themselves for the future, if this is really something that they are planning to do. They go through the summer, like I said, working on preparing for the GRE, as well as finishing up the research, finishing up their research paper, and then into the fall, they work on their presentation in preparation for the symposium, which is usually end of October, beginning of November. And then around that time, depending on where they are approaching graduation, they're working on preparing their applications. That's pretty much how the timeline works.
Okay. So the last thing that I would imagine students might ask you is, are there events that are scheduled or opportunities even with you to where students can learn more about the McNair program if they're interested in it, talk with maybe other McNair scholars to see if it's something that they want to do, or is it just simply going to the website, so to speak?
Yeah. They can definitely go to the website or contact one of us. We do have something planned for the spring. I guess, one of the, I don't know if we say good things to come out of COVID, but just sort of the realization of some of the benefits of the virtual access that we have now. We are planning to do at least one virtual session in the spring for McNair, sort of an informational. So that will be available coming up in the spring, and it may be something that we do each semester. Definitely, students can look out for that. The graduate school will be hosting in February a session about getting into graduate school as well. It's not McNair specific, but they could definitely get information about the program there as well. So. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Kim, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to at least let me record you so that the Chemistry 108 students can learn a little bit about the program. And I know from hearing from Christina and Mario about their experience, I've had several students come up and ask me, that they wanted to know more about the McNair program. And so I thought this would be a great way for us to communicate with those students. And I certainly hope that they reach out to you. Probably won't be this year because they're mostly freshmen, but hopefully we can get some of our students to apply to the program and benefit from the great work that you all are doing over there.
Well, I'm just thankful that you reached out, and hopefully something that I've said can, maybe plant a seed in someone, and when they're thinking about the future, maybe next year, something, in the back of their head will say, oh, McNair, let me, look into that, and they'll reach out, because we're always looking for, students who are looking to further their education beyond the undergraduate degree, and if they're looking toward that PhD, we're here. So.
Okay. Well, again, thank you very much, and I know the students are going to love this, and wish you a happy holiday, and hopefully COVID will be over soon.
Same to you, and fingers crossed on that too.
Absolutely. Well, it was good talking to you.
Hey, thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.